G-Maze.
What up, bro?
What's up, man?
You, man.
You hear that music in the background?
Absolutely.
What's that? What's that I'm listening to?
That's that Victory in Black and White, Deacon, man, Doc.
Ooh.
That's a joint called God's Word, featuring oh shoots. Oh, she's gonna kill me, man. LaDessa Brown, man, out of Charlotte. LaDessa Brown, yo, she's a problem.
I hear.
Yeah, she's a problem, bro.
Hey, what's up, everybody? We getting ready to get started in a second, but while I'm loading up, y'all listening to the sound of Gary Mays, Victory in Black. Oh, yeah, she a problem.
She just started. She ain't really going in yet.
Whee! That's good stuff there. Hey, what's up, Instagram? Y'all need to come over to Facebook Live right now. I got Gary Mays live on Facebook. We're getting ready to talk about his new album. Y'all can hear about his story. You don't want to miss this one. Remember, I told you you can't do nothing by yourself. It takes two.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Tristan Sutton says, what's up, Gary?
Look out.
Lynn Smith, hey, lady, what's up? Remember Lynn from Higher D? Gary, you know, she's a first lady now.
I had to see her face.
Melanie Guilford, what's up? Romy, what's up? Mr. Alicia Lowe, she says, hey, Gary.
Alicia Lowe.
Verily, Harper.
Yo, I know that headache.
She told me don't have you on the show. Now she want to what?
Yeah, of course. Full of hate.
Barely Harper, your brother on there talking about you.
She already know.
You know why I'm here. Calm down. All right, man. Before we get started, tell me what I'm listening to now. I'm hearing something nice. What's that?
That's the intro to Atmosphere Setter. It's like a band feel. So a live marching band goes into the tune Atmosphere Setter. Yeah, cuz.
All right, y'all. Y'all listen to the sounds of Gary Mays, Victory in Black. We're about to have a good conversation. It's a friend of mine. We go way back. We're about to have a good conversation tonight. So tell your friends, share it with your people. Tell them to come join this party tonight. Y'all know Gary Mays full of energy, so ain't no telling what's going to happen tonight.
I'm talking about she almost said choice words as if I'm scared, Harp.
All right, listen, let's go back. I want to go back.
Now, hold on. Now what's this?
That's
not my jam.
We worship thee.
Oh, you did the remix?
Yeah, man. I think you can go like this one.
All right, so people, as they tuning in, man, where can people go get this album at?
It's on. You can get it on all digital outlets: iTunes, Amazon, Google Play. You can get it on Spotify. If you're a streamer, you like to stream it. You can stream it on Spotify, Pandora, Apple Music, and if you want a hard copy, like Harp has, he has a hard copy. You want a hard copy, you can get it from my website, www.gmaysmusic.com.
All right, y'all.
G-Mays, Victory in Black and White.
There it is. So what's going on, Michael Dunbar? What's up, man? So listen, y'all, we're going to go ahead and get started. I know some people going to catch it now. Some people will watch this later. But I'm excited to be back. It's Two Man Tuesdays. And for those who don't know, I'm Ramone Harper, and I am the author of It Takes Two, Who Is Helping You Lead. And so when I wrote this book, man, God blessed me to write this book after years of helping other people experience success, whether it's been entertainers, whether it's been pastors, whether it's been business owners. And so what I wanted to do was write a book that kind of helped people understand that as I studied greatness, I just saw, man, there was people on the side of great people that helped them go to that next level. And so in the book I talk about, man, as great as Michael Jordan was, he never won until Scottie Pippen matured and became a leader in his own right. And so that's kind of the concept of the book. And so what I decided to do was just to keep this Two Man Tuesdays going. I want to bring to people who follow me and people who support me, I want to introduce you to some of the best and brightest leaders, entertainers, businessmen and women that I can find, and just kind of have a conversation about, teamwork, and then just get to know who they are. So tonight, last week I went down to H-Town and had a conversation with Pastor Terrence Johnson. So I decided to stay in Houston for one more week before I went to another part of the country. So tonight, y'all have the privilege of meeting Mr. Gary Mays, a longtime friend of mine, someone I've admired, musician, producer, writer, performer, worshiper, just a whole lot of things, man. And so, as I shared with y'all before, I'm only bringing y'all people that I respect and I feel like got something to say, because I don't want to waste your time. And so tonight, y'all, let me introduce you to Mr. Gary Mays. Everybody clap, clap, clap. Lorenzo, clap. Yeah, come on,
Thank you,
y'all.
thank you, 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 thank you. God bless you, God bless you, God bless you, God bless you, God bless you.
So let me turn this down, man. Gary, man, introduce yourself and just tell us you. I don't wanna hear the Hollywood story. I wanna hear who are you as a person? Where you from? How'd you get to where you are?
I try to make it short and sweet, man. For those that don't know, I am Gary Mays. I go by G Mays. I had a group at one time. It was Gary Mays and New Era, G Mays and NE. But I decided to step out and do my own solo thing, man. But I'm originally from Houston, Texas. I had my first taste of music by a young man by the name of Jackie Scott. He had a group called Jackie Scott and Revelation. And it was because of Jackie Scott and Revelation I really took music under. It actually became close to my heart. That's the best way to put it. It became close to my heart. I started playing bongos, like percussion, and eventually moved to drums. When I turned 5, the drummer didn't show up for church one Sunday, and I went and grabbed some pencils out of my biological mom's purse, got on the drums, and was able to hold down the service. A full service at 5 years old. So that's where it really, really started for me. Years, 40 years ago. And from then on, man, I moved on to my godmother, who was Phyllis Kennedy. And I was able to record my first album on drums with her and her choir, which is New Children of Christ. And that was at 8 years old. And since then, man, it's just been, ongoing thing. I've worked with some of the greatest, some some you don't know. Eventually, people like Greg Curtis, who influenced me into becoming a producer. I went from being a drummer to a producer. I went from being a producer to a music director. I went from being a music director. Funny thing, you were the first person to hire me as a minister of music when I came to the D. So that was my first minister of music position, from minister of music to preaching to teaching. And here I am now, man, I guess walking in my victory in black and white.
Okay, nice, man, nice. So let me ask this. So when you started the music thing, like what was your plan? What was your vision? Did you think you would be able to make music and CDs that would travel the world, get radio play, that you would tour and go place to place by ministering? Like what did you think when you started your own group?
First, let me say I took on an MD job. And when I was right before I started my own ministry, and I was probably not even a good year out of prison, and I knew I could write songs.
Wait a minute. Now you just can't slide that in there like parenthetically. You started out of prison. So slow us down now. Tell me.
So out of high school, hanging with some not friends, but hanging with some associates from my high school. One of them stole the car. I had never had a car before. I'd never driven a car before. And they gave me the car to keep because they were going to do other things. I kept the car instead of me going and put the car back at the place where it was supposed to go. I started driving it. I drove it for like 4 days. And on the 4th day, I ended up getting caught in the car. So they arrested me at 17 for unauthorized use of a moving vehicle. I did 4.5 years on probation. And because I left the state of Texas without permission and moved to Louisiana with my grandmother, they came and got me, man, and they locked me up for 15 months. And while I was locked up for 15 months because of the probation violation, while I was there, man, God started to work on my pen. I never thought about writing tunes. I always thought about playing tunes, but not writing them. And while I was in jail, man, a lot of the guys that was in the church choir and a lot of the guys that running around, I was writing R&B and gospel. But gospel was my passion. So I came home and I ended up MDing for a few people. And while I was MDing for them, I was trying to tell them, like, I wrote some tunes. I think y'all should listen. Nobody really paid attention. So I felt like that was God telling me he was trying to push me from behind the drums to in the forefront. And eventually that's how I ended up starting Gary Mays and Friends in Christ. Actually, too fast. A young lady by the name of Kayla Ardoin. I reached out to her parents and asked her parents, like, can I produce her? I want to produce her. She was amazing. She was 15 years old. I met her at South Post Oak Baptist Church with Pastor Remus Wright, Mia Wright. Yes. And while I was there as the drummer, I told him, like, I have these tunes, and I believe Kayla could bring those tunes to light. And these are a lot of the tunes that I wrote while I was in jail. and started working on them, but things didn't work out the way I wanted it to. You know, Kayla ended up having to, she was in school, and it was going to be hard for her to really concentrate on music and school, so they pulled her. And instead of me just saying, okay, well, I'm done with it, I decided I would go ahead and continue doing it and just start a group. And that's how I ended up starting Gary Mays and Friends in Christ. And I guess 1 year, the first year that we sang, I sang other people's music, but I would rearrange them to make them feel more like Gary Mays tunes. So all of the Kirk Franklin, all the Fred Hammonds, the Yolanda Adams, the CeCe, the Rodney Bryan, and all, I would take their tunes and I made them feel more like Gary while teaching some of my new tunes. So I would go out, you know, with my crew, we'd sing some of the old songs that people are familiar with, but I also wanted to throw in some of the tunes that I had written, and people started to like them. And you know, My Love for You, We Made It, Wait on Them. I started singing these tunes, and people were really, it didn't work. Like all of those tunes from my first album, man, people started taking a liking to it and loving. And before you know it, you know, people in Switzerland heard my records. People in London heard my records. So I had no intention of being this national, you know, superstar. I'm gonna blow up. I just wanted to do music my way. I wanted to do ministry my way. And, you know, here I am 20 plus years later doing ministry and music my way.
Wow, man. As you were saying, I finally remember how I personally got connected with you, because I know you was at the Fountain of Praise and High D. We was just jumping off at High D, and you was at the Fountain of Praise playing. But you were with Crazy C and Mad Hatter.
Yep.
So they had the secular record label, but then they flipped and did, and you was like the first artist where they kind of tapped into the gospel market. What was it? Because it was you, Soul Fruit,
and Shay Atkins.
Shay Atkins. What was that? What was the label called?
Soul Music.
Soul Music.
Soul Music.
How did that happen? Because I know Mad Hatter was like, man, he was a hip hop legend in Houston and Crazy C, but then how did y'all come up with that gospel side of it?
Now, C was the one who decided to walk away from hip hop and R&B and do gospel. He wiped his hands clean. He really didn't want to have anything. He said after God called him to ministry, he wanted to do strictly ministry. He completely, like, people may not know, man, but Simon Collins, which is Crazy C, was one of the dopest producers in the game, like one of the illest producers in the game. But I think that lifestyle, he wanted to put it behind him and just, you know, go all out for God. So he completely shut it down. And I guess he went to Hatter and told Hatter, yo, I want to start, you know, a gospel label. Hatter gave him the go ahead. So he signed a group, guys by the name of Sounds of Urban Life.
Yes.
Sounds of Urban Life. They were first. Sounds of Urban Life was first. I was second. And then I was third. They had a girl group called The Truth.
Yep.
The Truth. Now, how I ended up getting connected to Crazy C was because of The Truth. The Truth were looking for a producer named Gary. They were looking for a producer named Gary and called me. But I wasn't the Gary they were looking for. They were looking for another Gary. I was Gary Mays, but I was a producer. So I told them, yo, of course, I can come by the studio and we can try to work it out and see what we got. And I went by the studio and I started letting C hear some of the tracks that I did for the girls. He started taking tracks. Okay, yeah, I want this one, I want this, I want this. We're going to let him hear it. And he say, so what are you doing? I'm like, I'm working on my album, man, but I'm running out of money. I've been doing this forever, you know, and by that time I had been working on my album for a little bit over a year. And almost 2 years. By the time I got to him, I have been working on my album almost 2 years. And I told him I was just running out of money, man, because I was doing it by myself and I needed some help. He said, well, I'll help you. Everything. And that's how it all shifted. He went and told Hatter he wanted to sign me. I think within 2 weeks, man, they signed me, gave me a nice little bonus. And from there, it's when people started to hear We Worship Thee. That was my first single. And then I dropped my first album, Any Experience, Volume 1.
That is so crazy. So I was responsible for throwing the first block party we did at High D. And so I was looking for groups for the block party. So I was connecting with C, and he was like, let me bring my whole army of groups to the block party. I was like, man, I just need like one gospel rapper or something. He was like, Carl, if I do it, you got to let me bring my whole roster. So Soul Music.
Soul Music. Yep, Shay.
And then he got me, what was the guy? New Wine from Great Records. He brought New Wine in, and then you were in. I was like, man, you just took over my whole show. Y'all had like the whole roster at the block party, man. But yeah, it was y'all. That's when Marcus Wiley was just starting to do comedy. So
yeah, no doubt.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Man, wow, that's crazy. Let me pause for a minute. Minister Alicia Lowe says, "Who were your mentors?"
My mentors, I think I have about 2, maybe 3, but one for sure was a brother by the name of Greg Curtis. Man, Greg Curtis was the reason why I even thought about doing production and into writing. Like again, when I first came home from jail, he was one of the first people to find me. Like somebody told him I was home, and he found me and took me under his wing. I started going to his studio out in Highway 6 and Westheimer area, whatever that way out there, past the Beltway. And he started schooling me on how to produce records, how to write records, like explain to me, you got to write stuff that's, relatable. You got to produce tracks that are, give the people what they want to hear, but also give them a whole lot of you. Make sure you put you in there so that they'll be able to relate. But Greg was one of my biggest mentors. As far as drums or writing, I think that was more like, distant mentors, people like Joe Smith, Gerald Haywood, Lil John Roberts, cats like that. But as far as the music, really, really getting deep into the music, man, I honestly believe it was mainly Greg Curtis. It was really Greg Curtis. And you also have my godmother, who tried to groom me, but I was always on punishment, so I couldn't really get in it. But Phyllis Kennedy, man, y'all do it. I stayed on punishment, bro. Every time I got on the drums and I thought I was ready to go, was gonna get to play, she told me I was punished for 2 weeks, no drums for 2 weeks. I stayed on punishment for something I did at school. So, yeah. But overall, man, those are 2 people. Those are probably the 2 people that really, really mentored, whether it was hands-on or even distant.
Okay. So listen, y'all, if y'all just tuning in, I see some people logged on. I have Gary Mays, a recording artist, producer, musician. We were listening to some of his music when we first came on. So let's take a moment here, just a little commercial break. So first of all, again, this is Two Man Tuesday. I'm the author of It Takes Two, Who is Helping You Lead. If you don't have it, you want to have it. It's a great book, whether you're in business, ministry. It's a book about life and leadership, because you can't do anything by yourself. So you can go get that at RamoneHarper.com or Amazon, Barnes & Noble, iTunes, wherever. Gary, you got yours?
Yep, sir. I got mine online.
You got it on iBooks. You got
I got
the ebook. Okay, so yeah,
that. Yeah, make sure the people go and grab this, man. Y'all go get that. Stop playing.
There it is.
Stop playing.
It Takes Two. So go get that. So Gary, we was listening to your music. So tell us where people can go get your music at. And so I want to make sure people know who you are and where to get the music at and all that.
So if you want to get the records, you can go to iTunes. You can go to Google Play. You can go to Amazon. If you're a streamer and you like streaming the music, you can go to Apple Music. You can go to Pandora. You can do Spotify. All the digital outlets that are available to you. My music is on there. It's G Mays, Victory in Black and White. For those of you who are familiar with Gary Mays and New Era, if you type in Gary Mays and New Era, it will not come up. If you type in Gary Mays and NE, it will not pop up. You have to type in G Mays, Victory in Black and White for it to pop up. And also, if you want a hard copy, like Ramone's book, if you want a hard copy, you can go to the website, www.gmaysmusic.com. Victory in Black and White, G Mays. It's my solo efforts. I'm a solo artist, man.
Solo artist.
Yeah, I'm solo, man. I'm solo. I'm out here I'm in these Chris Brown, Michael Jackson streets, man.
Now let me say this, man. Let me say this, because I think some people, how did you make the transition? Y'all, this is what it Y'all can see what I'm listening to right there.
Yeah.
That's what that look like.
Yeah, man. Let that bless your life.
Yeah. So talk to me, Gary, because you a musician, you a producer. You know, you and my boy, I had a chance to work with my good friend James Fortune, and I know there's the Kurt Franklins of the world. Like, when y'all talkers become singers, I'm trying to figure out how all these talkers going platinum. Like, what happened?
Yo, real talk, man. And I promise you, this is not I know you don't want the Hollywood answer, so I'm going to be straight up honest with you. I've had, since my first rehearsal, I've had nothing but the best of singers around me, man.
I know.
Nothing but the best of singers. I have never, ever, ever looked at my singers and been like, man, how am I going to do this with y'all? It's always been, man, these people have no idea what they're in for. I'm talking about, there are times at majority of the time, I can have the mic in my hand. If I close my eyes and throw it behind my head, whoever grabs it, gonna go, man. So me being around them for so long, I forced myself to sing. And I really don't care what my notes sound. I don't care if y'all like it or I'm a sing, man. I have to, because I've had too many people around me. That's like me being around Ricky Lawson all of my life, and I'm not picking up some of his drum techniques. You can't be around. That's like being around you and understanding how you do business well. Just like you're a business mogul. You and George Anderson are like my heroes when it comes to doing business. So if I didn't learn anything else while I was at High Dimension, I understood how to do some administrative work. I understand you have to have a meeting about a meeting, about having a meeting for you to have everything the right way. Feel me? Because you know we at the D, we met about meeting to meet about what we met about to meet.
Right.
And that's why everything was like this, bro. It was always smooth sailing. You ain't had no issue. So if I'm gonna be around all these great singers, man, I have to take something from them. Something, and I'm not talking about riffing and running, just learning how to use your breathing techniques and tone. Because I've never been trained. I just, whatever God gives me in my spirit and tells me to teach, that's how I teach it. And it just comes out and it's my sound. I take pride in saying that it's my sound, but that's it, man. It wasn't something I planned. I said, you know what, I'm going to do this for about 10 years and then I'm going to start singing. Man, I literally just in rehearsal one day just started singing and singing more, and then start leading. People start missing. I had to sing their part. I didn't sound just like them, but I did it my way and it worked. So I kept doing it. And that's where we are now. That's why, G May's Victory in Black and White, there's a whole lot of me singing, not a whole lot of me talking.
Okay. So good. You talked about having great singers. So in my book, I talk about you can't do it by yourself. And I tell people, how do you find quality people who can be on your team? So I want to talk to you from an artist standpoint, because like you said, you have always had best singers in Houston. You've always had some phenomenal musicians or whatever. So I want to talk from an artist standpoint. Like, how do you go about selecting the people to be on your team? Like, what are you looking for?
Tell me if this sounds familiar. You have to know my spirit.
You learn something, boy. You learn something.
No, and that's why we're playing. I'm serious. Like, I have to be able to connect with them and they connect with me and understand what my focus really is and understand where my heart is. Because I don't do it for money, man. I've never done it for money. If I did it for money, I just told, one of my singers just recently, I did a real huge concert / Stellar Awards post event about 14 years ago. And I got a big check for it, man. When I say it was a big check, man, from Music World. I was the MD for Music World. And the majority of that money, man, I took care of my people. So I don't do it for money. I mean, I spent the majority of the money on them. So I don't do it for money. I do it because I love doing music and I love doing ministry. So I need to make sure I have like-minded people with my crew. So I don't just go out and, do a whole lot of, I don't do a bunch of auditioning. I just see people and I'm like, yo, that's somebody that I would want to have on my team. I'll hear someone. I'm like, that's someone I want to have on my team. Like this. I did a song called He'll Make a Way on my first album. And I did the song with Nikita Fox. And Nikita, shortly after doing the record, ended up getting a really big break and signing with Kurt Carr. So she started going on the road with Kurt Carr. I had no one that can do that song that I felt comfortable with. But I so happened to hear Shay Atkins. And when I heard Shay, I was like, oh, she would be perfect for it. So I asked her. She came, she sang the song with me. I asked her to be a part of my crew because we had we were like-minded people. She respected me. She respected my leadership. She never tried to rebuke my authority. If I said something, she trusted that it was, God sent. It wasn't just me being an arrogant guy. So it's people like that I like to go out and grab, man, and bring into my fold.
That's awesome, man.
Musicians as well.
Yeah. Now I'm introducing this concept called the two-man. And when I talk about two-man, that's not gender specific. That could be a man or female.
All woman. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So a two-man or a team that kind of helps you lead. Now you're interesting because I think you're a one-man, but you also a two-man because I think you've helped a lot of singers and a lot of musicians get on. So you have a dual role to me. It's like you're a one, but you a two because you're giving a platform to a lot of people. So for you, like, how did you kind of come up, like, even when you did like New Era, like it could have been you as a solo artist by yourself and you just had background singers, but you put people on the map. Like certain people, I had no idea who they were until you introduced them, and you would let them shine on a single. Well, I know some people sing on a song and they name not on it. It just says the group, but you would always do stuff like featuring Sid Ballard, featuring Nikita Clegg, featuring whatever. So kind of tell me, like, what was your mindset of kind of sharing the love with people like that?
I'm a giver, man, and I want to support people even if you're not with me. Even if you if I start running down the names of people that are saying with me that God is taking on and doing greater things with, people probably wouldn't believe it, man. But I've always wanted to be a dude. Like, use this as a platform. I'm not here to, control you. I don't want to keep you with me forever. If you can stay with me forever, cool. But every 97, maybe 98% of the singers, I counted up right before I did the thank yous on the Victory in Black and White album. And I was at 73 or 74 people. At least 98% of those people I can call back to sing with me even today. Wow. Because of the relationship. But I never intended for them to come and be a part of my crew and sing with me forever because they were too great of artists. They were too great of singers, too great of musicians just to be, pigeonholed into just playing for Gary Mays and New Era, G Mays and N.E., G Mays. No, this is just a platform that I want to offer you to come and, do what you do. And if the Lord elevates you to another, like one of the biggest things I love, man, is what happened with Keita. Keita sang with me at a Heidi situation. We sang was it the Power Center or it was either the Power Center or the Arena, but I think you guys brought Donnie McClurkin in. Yeah, and I opened up for Donnie.
2 in a minute.
Yeah. And it was Donnie and Kurt Carr, whatever that was going on during that time. Yeah. And he was there. And, Nikita smacked the house. She absolutely destroyed the people. Yeah. And it was an amazing night. And then, shortly after that, she started singing with Kurt. I loved it. I felt like that was a great opportunity for her because where I could no longer take her, I know without question Kurt could. She's traveled all over the world with Kurt. She sang on a number of his hits. So that was great for me because she came out of my squad. That was part of my team. I moved Nikita to Houston to sing with me. I went searched. Can I tell the story?
Tell it.
All right.
Nikita Clegg, who he's talking about, she sings with Kurt Carr singer. She's a solo artist now. If you watch Found of Praise and Remus and Mia Wright, she leads worship like, yeah, she's ridiculous.
She's from another planet, man. She's from another planet. Well, I was friends with her ex-boyfriend. He's a basketball buddy of mine, and he was a Take Six lover, and we were all friends. So between Take Six and basketball, it was my ace. He and myself and a buddy by the name of Brian Dunlap. And when I came home, I started playing outdoor. I came home on a Friday. That following Monday, I was invited to a Adrian Medeiros and God's Anointed People rehearsal. And Adrian was somebody I knew from Charles Tyrone and Faith. I knew him from playing drums there, and he was one of the tenants. And I started playing for Gap, and that's when I found out they had a girl. They were bragging about this young lady who was at PV but had to leave to go back home and go back to Arkansas. So they showed me this videotape of this girl who was hot. When I said, and this is when she was 19, I think she was 19 at the time. Mm-hmm. They showed me the video when she was 19, and she's absolutely dumping the place, man. God is like completely using her to just completely dump the place. I'm like, yo, she's dope. You got to get her back into your crew. Again, this is me being, I can see the future. I can see how she can help the ministry, and he never did it. So eventually, about 3 years later, I started my own crew. So I called Marcus. I was like, Marcus, I need Nikita, man. I need you to call her and ask her would she come and be a part of my crew. He calls her. She said she was interested. I flew her down. I flew her into town. She came and sang with me on the weekend. I did a Saturday concert and I did a Sunday night concert. And she ended up enjoying the fellowship, and she ended up joining. So I ended up moving her to Houston to be a part of my crew. That's how it all began. Wow. That was the whole movement. And that's one of my, and she's someone that's close to my heart. Like, she's like my little sister. Like I'm super overprotective of her because I know her gift people will probably try to use and abuse. And I've seen it happen to her, but that's someone that I protect. But Nikita was someone that I actually seeked out. I found out where she was and called, people to, like, I need you to find her for me. I need her. And she came down. She liked it. So I told her to come on, be a part. And she moved here to be a part of Gary. And she moved down here the week that I changed the name from Gary Mays and Friends in Christ to Gary Mays and New Era. She was a part of that. Wow. Yeah. Well, man, that was 18 years ago.
I want to do something real quick. I want to play a little bit.
Let's go.
Play a little game. So you didn't took me back. So what I want to do, I want to play something, and I want you to tell me what was going on.
Gotcha.
What made you write this?
Gotcha.
So I gotta go with one of my favorites since you just talked about somebody. Hold on, let the people hear it a little bit. Then we talk about it.
You forget the baby Jesus. He is the
All right. I ain't gonna mess the people up because I want y'all to go get all this stuff. Like, if y'all do, I got my title page, I got my Gary Mays playlist, all that. So tell me what song was that, and where that come from?
That was a tune called "Don't Forget the Baby" featuring Nikita Clegg Fox, man. And short story.
Hold on, man. Kenny Randall. Shout out to Kenny. Kenny was with the label back in the day. Kenny Randall.
Oh,
soul music back in the day.
I don't remember him, man. Kenny Randall.
Kenny Randall in Houston. He was a barber too.
I have to see his face. I probably remember if I see his face.
Yeah. All right. I'm sorry. Don't Forget the Baby.
Yeah, but Don't Forget the Baby is a song that was inspired by one of my favorite preachers, pastors, extended father, which is Remus Wright. And the story was he and his wife were preparing they had just had their first kid together. They were preparing to leave Houston to travel to Indianapolis to introduce the family to the baby and introduce the baby to the family. But they were so excited that they had to, they were going to get a chance to show off their baby. They got in the car and left the baby in the garage. They driving down the street and forgot the baby at the house. And that was the most important thing that they were even taking a trip for, was the baby, and they forgot the baby. So he preached the sermon. That's how we're doing that with Jesus. We're doing that with Christ. When Christmas comes around, we so worried about getting gifts that we totally forget the real gift. And I end up penning the song. I just saw my nephew on here, man. What up, Lawrence? I will say, I'm gonna say it. What up, nephew? What up, buddy? But I end up penning the song from one of his sermons, man. That's basically 85% of the tunes that you hear from me. They'll come from sermons. that I've either heard or that I'm preaching or I will preach. But that's basically what it is. Don't forget the baby came from Pastor Wright.
Okay, all right.
One of his sermons. Oh, this is funny.
Lord, because you've been so good and you've been so kind, and you seem to step in. Yes, Lord. Because you gave your son that I might have life and have it more abundantly.
Gotta let this begin to
Lord,
play.
I want to let you know
Absolutely.
my love ain't going nowhere. Say. That's why my love. Sing. With stupid.
Yeah, Hawk.
Come on. You almost made me think I could sing back then. All right. Y'all gotta go get all his stuff. Like, the boy got hits. All right, what was that?
That was My Love for You, the Dangerously in Love remix, man. I did an original version of that tune, which was led by one of the cats from my crew, Cedric Ballard. And for Christmas, man, I wanted to do it, a remix of that particular tune, and that's how it all came to part, man.
All right. Hold on, let me get you.
Wow, Hop, you taking me back, baby.
A couple more.
Let's go, boy.
Hey.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, yeah. I thought you were gonna play something else.
Everybody put your hands on it.
Now you peeing that. You and John P. Key putting them hands on it.
First verse, ready? Go get 'em.
Taking me back, baby. Taking me back.
All right. What was
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir, Hop.
Come on, talk to me. What was
Taking me
that?
back, baby. That's a song entitled "You Did It Just for Me" off of the Diary of a Strong Soldier album. I really don't have no super deep, how the song came about. It was just a tune that just fell in my spirit. I decided to pen it and teach it to my crew, and that's how it all happened, man. You did it just for me. Diary of a Strong Soldier. Wow, yo, I meant to say earlier, there's no way that you're not gonna play this one tune I have in my mind. I know it's coming, dog.
Come on, well, give it to me, because I'm about to come to the new one. I want them to get the new music. So tell me what you got. Tell me what.
The one thing I used to get texts every Christmas, man, every year around Christmas time about "Happy You Were Born" from Hawk. Every year, dog.
Hold on. Don't play with me, son. Don't play with me, son.
Every year around Christmas, this my jam. This my song. This one you can sing again. I get it.
I'm gonna get the people what they want. I'm gonna get the people what they want.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite tunes ever.
The people want the song.
Yeah, man. It's one of my favorite tunes, baby.
Let me see you put your hands on it.
Yeah, it's a wave.
All the H-Town folks, all the people that know real gospel, y'all gotta know. You gotta go get this. The NE Volume 2.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Stephanie Daniels Carter, what's up? All right.
It's a way.
Yes.
That's Happy You Were Born off the Volume 2 album, Any Experience Volume 2. It's like considered the Christmas record.
Okay.
Yeah, man. That's one of my favorite tunes today.
So where was the inspiration to that?
A kids choir at my home church, man. The Founder of Praise was singing about being happy that Christ was born. And I wanted to write a song about being happy and do one that was more of an adult version of it, because it was really, you know, there was a babies. It was like the 5, 6 year olds. But I wanted to do something about being happy that Jesus was born. So I went home. I actually started writing it in church with the MPC with my headphones on.
Wow.
Playing the beat in church. And after service, I called my boy Glenn Piper, one of my right-hand dudes, man.
GP.
GP, man. I called Glenn, told him come to the crib this week. We're going to work this song out. He did it. And I actually tracked it. He came and played the strings for me.
Wow.
My dog.
All right, man. I don't want to keep the people too long, so I got to bring us up to now.
Man.
We learned about where you from. We learned about how you got into music and singing and all that. So let me do this one.
You gotta get your groove on.
So this is a new song. This is Atmosphere Set off the new album, correct?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, baby.
Tell me about this song and where this come from.
When I started working on the record, man, I really wanted to just write something up tempo, but with a go-go groove. Because, you know, I was living in New York, but I was frequenting DC quite often because I had a friend there. And while I was there, man, that DC, that whole DMV movement when it comes to go-go music was so jumping, man. It was all in my system. So I wanted to do a go-go tune. And Atmosphere Set would end up being that tune. And, you know, here we are now. That's Hop. That's one of the songs that actually gets the, man, it goes, y'all. Live, it goes.
All right.
It goes.
I'm so grateful that you care.
Now this is getting radio play all over the country.
Yeah, that's my kid on drums.
That's who?
My son.
Oh, really?
I'm so grateful that you care. Yeah.
I know it. All right. So that was the breakout single. That was killing radio. Still been killing radio. That's been out for a minute, but that's
almost
the lead off the album. So tell me about Grateful, and then just tell us about the album as we kind of bring it to a close. Tell me about Grateful, and tell me about this Victory album.
Grateful was a tune that like again, Harp, bro, I really wish I can give you something real deep. I was riding the glory cloud and Jesus like tapped the cloud and said, come to heaven, let me talk to you. I got a song I really want to give you something like that, bro, but it's not. I was simply hanging out at my pool, just chilling, you know, focusing, just getting ready to record the album, and Grateful fell in my spirit, man. I start typing it in my phone. I'm so grateful that you love me. I'm so grateful that you cared. The cross, you did not have to do it, but I'm thankful that you did. And that was it. Now, if you know me and you've been around me for mad years, man, I think me and you got like 15, 16 plus, bro. I have never written a song that was that short. My singers always and my band members complain about my tunes being too long and being too wordy. I did that song in the matter of 10 minutes, man, 10, 15 minutes. I called my little buddy, Zach Fisher, to come over and do the tune with me, to play it, you know, and co-produce it. And before you know it, I had a tune. So that's the whole story. Sitting at the pool, wrote the tune, and that was it, man. And I took the vamp off of one of my old tunes, because it actually fit, and I use it in this song. I'm happy, grateful, appreciate you. The song you were playing earlier, it came from that tune. So because it worked, and I wanted to make sure I drive that point home. That's it. As far as the album is concerned, Victory in Black and White is because of about 10 to 11 people that it came to fruition. I was doing a concert in San Antonio, and I took just randomly, it was no group anymore. I had let the group go, but I randomly called like 6 singers, 3 guys to come and play with me, and I went to San Antonio to do a concert. And while we were in sound check, Harper, the Spirit of God fell so hard, man. And if you want to talk about it takes 2, these were my 2s that day, man. These are 100% my 2s. It's because of these 2s that June 11, 2016 happened. And this was August of 2015 that this happened. I did a concert. And in soundcheck, the Spirit of God fell so hard, man. I was like, yo, I need to record this. I need to record this feeling. I need to record this vibe that I have going on here, man. And I tell them all the time, it's because of you guys that I decided to do a live recording. That was in August. I was thinking about doing it in November, but I pushed it to the summer. And that's how Victory in Black and White, became the album that it is today, because of those 10 people, which I consider, which I'm most definitely going to be stealing this. Those were my 2s, man. Those people really, really pushed for me to make that decision to do a live recording, which became G Mays Victory in Black and White, which is my first solo album. Simple.
Wow. So y'all listen, y'all have met Gary Mays. We done played some of the music. You need to go get this album.
Man. Yeah, man.
It's the true Victory in Black and White. But I think to help you comprehend the magnitude of this guy, you got to go back and get all of his music and hear it in collection, man. It's a house party. Like, you can put his stuff on. It's something for everybody. So I remember, like I said, back from the Indie Experience, the Christmas album, the
Diary.
The Diary. Everything that you've done, man, you produce hits, man. You a hit maker. I'm blessed to know you, and to see your growth. I think it's so much that I think people can learn from people's story. So it's like you as a kid playing the bongos at age of 3 and recording live at 8 and being a drummer, then moving to production, going to jail and spending time in jail and learning how to write songs. And man, you just never gave up. You never gave up, man. So I think there's a story of fortitude. And, I always try to study people's lives and try to see the vision really behind them. And I think one of your albums, the Diary of a Strong Soldier.
Yes, sir.
I think people go remember you as a soldier. I think that's what's going to be your legacy, man. You've been a soldier for this. You never fit into anybody else's pattern. At a time when I had the privilege to be in entertainment management and working with James Fortune, whatever, man, y'all was like, it's like James Fortune is like Gary Mays, and you were just so unique with your own style and presentation and musicianship that I think, made you stand apart. And so, man, I just been, it's been a joy. It's been a joy watching you grow, watching you go through trials, watching you walk out of battles that I ain't think you could get out of. But yeah, man, you got the victory, and you celebrating victory, man. So I applaud you for that.
Yo, I have to say this before you try to end this whole thing, and I'm saying this from the bottom of my heart, man. And I don't think I've ever had the opportunity to share this with you, Harp, but I need you to understand, man. And I just recently told somebody about you. When it comes to business, when it comes to like management and really, really putting a plan to work, I've watched you build big businesses, big church businesses. And my time that I spent, I think I was there only for a few months, man, but the time that I spent at the D while you were there, I learned so much from you, bro. Like honest to God. And this is not fluff. This is not me trying to help sell your book or sell my record. This is me telling you from heart to heart, and I need it to be on tape. So I need this to be something that I can talk about when you decide you're going to retire. I can pull back up this Facebook Live and show the people in 2018, I wanted you to know your effect on me from 2003 during my season at the D still rides with me today, man. I know when you have your hands on something. I know when you have your hands. When I walked into the Luke, I knew you had your hands on that. When I first moved to New York and you invited me to come to Kingdom Church, and I walked in, the way the greeters were, all of the designs and everything that was happening, the way the church flowed, I knew it was a Ramone Harper production. I knew you had your hands on it. So please don't stop doing what you're doing, man. I know you want to give all your tools, a lot of credit, but you're one of the greatest ones that I've ever met in my life when it comes to business, man. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart for riding and dying with me, for kicking it with me, and being a friend and being a brother, a fighting brother, a loving brother, all of it, man. But I told you, you're one of my corporate superheroes, man. You and George Anderson, I've learned a lot from you guys. I don't say it, but I'm telling you now, as a friend and a brother, man, the way you handle your business, I respect it to the end. So I've taken a lot from you. I don't tell you that I've taken a lot from you, but a lot of ways I do my business is because of what I experienced while I was rocking with Ramone Harper 15 years ago. So, my bro.
You know it's to the end, man. You know what?
Always, baby.
I'm here for you. I'm excited about. We're trying to work on something to bring you to Change Church.
Yeah, man.
Pretty soon. So we're working on some stuff. So I'm excited to expose, New Jersey to this Gary Mays experience, man. So, hey, man, it's been great, man. Proud of you. Again,
appreciate it, bro.
Where can they get the album at one last time?
iTunes, Amazon, all of the online stores, iTunes, Amazon, Google Play. If you're a streamer, you can stream it on Apple Music. You can stream it on Spotify. You can stream it on Pandora. It's on Pandora. You can even stream all of my old music, but you can get the new album, the G Mays solo album, Victory in Black and White Live, on even on my website. If you want a hard copy, you can go on my website, order it, get it to you in a few days. www.gmaysmusic.com. That's the website. www.gmaysmusic.com. You can go in and get the record on there, but all the online stores, you can most definitely go there. iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora. You can get it. And some I just recently found out someone put it on YouTube. So if you want to go on YouTube and listen to it before you buy it, go for it. Just let it be a blessing.
Buy it, y'all. Buy it.
Yeah, please buy it. please buy it.
Go to gmaysmusic.com. You talking about the business, man. I tell people, like, my book is everywhere. But go to RamoneHarper.com and get my book. You helping me when you go.
Absolutely. We need that traction, baby.
Yeah, you go to everybody else. They taking their cut out. They feeding their family.
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos, shout out to him, Amazon. But I know he the world most paid man right now. So yeah, I'm gonna let Jeff Bezos have his at Amazon. Come to RamoneHarper.com. Go to gmaysmusic.com.
Yeah, man.
All right, man. Appreciate you, man. Can't wait to have you up here at Change Church, man. It's gonna be fun.
I'm looking forward to it, bro. Can't wait.
All right, man.
Fun.